It may not look like much, but the neighbors surrounding this field lovingly call it the Wildflower Park. And they have put a lot of time, energy, and money into planting all the wildflowers in it. A few weeks ago, it came to our attention that the city council was thinking of turning this field into a cemetery for Elk Ridge. And they had a public meeting last week to discuss pros and cons, and just to let the public come with their concerns.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you please stand and repeat the pledge with me.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, so we need to approve our agenda for tonight's meeting. Time frame, I think we got started about 7:02.
Let's date it.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Could you roll call, starting with Charles?
Charles Whitson. Corey Thompson.
Jared Peterson.
Rob Haddock?
Tanya Willis.
Melanie Paxton.
Okay, everyone is present. Let's see, do we have an update from Planning Commission? Let's see, Lisa, I think she's out.
She is out.
Okay. Anything you'd like to share?
Sure. So our big meeting last week was on the Highlands 2 phase. And we've been having a discussion about the safety of the intersection coming out of Canyon View from Meadowlark. So we discussed it, there was a presentation, it went to a vote, and it was passed 3-2. And so that's going on to City Council for review, as is the new process.
Okay.
So I think those that voted against it, well, it was like, we just didn't feel comfortable with all the paperwork that was submitted. We felt it was an incomplete packet for us to vote on. Those that voted it through felt that with some strong guidance in a letter of discussion that they could meet those requirements.
Okay, thank you. So, yeah, there's one intersection that doesn't quite meet line of sight regulations, and so the developer's trying to solve that issue by raising the stub road and shaving off a little bit on Canyon View. So City Council usually isn't involved. They approved the preliminary plat, but it was contingent upon City Council giving them permission to get into Canyon View, since that's a city road and not part of the subdivision. So yeah, thank you for that.
Will we see that next meeting then?
Hope so. Yeah, because
Are you guys planning on submitting that at our next meeting then?
So that should only go to City Council. It should be on the next, it should be coming to you.
So we have to get those things before.
I think we're waiting on more detail from the developer. All right, is there anybody here that would like to speak on something other than the cemetery tonight? So we have a public forum, but we're also gonna have a public hearing. So if you wanna speak on the cemetery, let's wait and open the public hearing and have everybody speak then. But if anybody's here to talk about anything else, and you've signed up, we can take you. I'm seeing cemetery people. All right, so we'll forego the public forum and then open
Okay.
public hearing.
Mr. Mayor, I motion that we open the public hearing to discuss the proposed cemetery for Elk Ridge City.
I will second that.
So I want to add a couple of things, like that we're information gathering. So I'd like you guys to include in your comments whether or not you're for a cemetery in Elk Ridge, and then whether or not you like the proposed location or not. And if you don't like it, I'd like to hear options on where you think would be a better place, if you're in favor. That makes sense? just so we're gathering information. I think this kinda went out, it kinda got blown out of proportion,
We're in the very early
yeah,
stages.
so it's, I mean, we did a public hearing for it, and so we wanna hear good information. And, so that's my request.
Yeah, I was gonna add to that, we've had the request for a cemetery from a lot of people, and this was a location that kind of kept getting thrown out there, so before we spent any money, did any research, did anything, we said, let's just get everybody in the room and hear how they feel, because I don't wanna waste money running in the wrong direction, right? So this was just a city-owned property that had been thrown out a couple times, and so we wanted to get public feedback early. So nothing has been done yet, no money has been spent, because we don't wanna do that if that's not what the community wants. So that's where we're at here, just so it's clear.
And where is that location? Can you explain that?
It's the open area right below Skyhawk Park.
I got it.
It's referred to as the Wildflower Park, for those of you who aren't familiar.
That's such a misnomer.
So it's referred to as.
Be gentle on our comments, because some people here have spent a lot of time on it. Yes.
So it's on the north side of the city, down below the
Yes,
larger
this off there.
park on Skyhawk Way.
Okay.
Just
If
to the
somebody
north of
has a
that.
TV remote, I've got it open.
Yeah, it goes from Skyhawk clear down to 11,200. It's a big stretch.
If you would, when you get up this far, we can record your name and things and your comments for our minutes.
And I don't know if we want to put a time restriction on it.
It's 2 minutes.
They get 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
2 minutes per. I wasn't gonna put a time on the public hearing, just so everybody should be able to speak. I'm not gonna motion that, we'll just see how many people want to talk and close it.
Oh, and the software.
And then if you have signed
Okay,
up
there we
and
go.
somebody's already said what you were gonna share, you can just say, you know, I agree with these
So-
points instead of,
Is my mouse showing? Yeah. So this is 11,200 on the north side, and this is Skyhawk here, and the parcel they were talking about is here. Okay.
Down on the top of the screen there, that's the detention pond there, retention pond.
This right here,
Stormwater.
sorry, right here is a
Mhm.
detention pond.
Just so you get oriented on what everything is out there.
Is the roundabout on there anywhere?
I can show you the roundabout, yes,
The
there is a little
roundabout
bit more.
anyway.
Sorry.
further
No,
south.
you're good.
I'm new here, so.
That's not the parcel that you're thinking it was off the roundabout.
Yeah.
That's
So
not
this
it.
is the
Right.
roundabout here.
I'm just trying to orient.
Yeah, no, this is the roundabout, this is where you go by the planters all the way down the hill, the Elk Ridge sign is like right.
Down
Elk Ridge
further.
sign, like
Yeah.
right here, right
Oh,
here,
okay.
that's where the welcome to Elk Ridge sign is, and so this is 11,200, it curves across here, it's like,
Oh,
Goes over to Woodland Hills.
There's lots of seats up here, we didn't reserve them. They're the popular ones.
they're reserved for the vacants.
What's the size of the property?
It's 6.6 acres, I believe.
I just pulled it up, 6.672, yeah.
Is that including the retention pond?
Yes.
Okay,
So when you speak, it's not a question and answer thing, if you just share your opinion, your thoughts, and you can throw out questions, but we're not here to fill them and answer them, because like I said, we're just gathering information at this point. So Royce, do you wanna start at the top?
Yeah, Michelle Birch.
Dang it.
That's a good
Shouldn't have
place,
logged
that's a
in
good
first.
place to start.
Okay, so first I would, I understand that like a lot of people see it as like a wildflower park, so back like 8 years ago, people were complaining that it was tall, you get a bunch of stuff in there, so I've taken it, I've gone through the council, I've been in meetings, and I decided to make it like a city-owned, like citizens-owned, instead of asking the city to maintain it, asking the city to water it. I looked at it as a park that would be beautiful in 10 to 20 years, not beautiful overnight. So basically it's been like a slow progress, but it's now at a point that is a wildflower park. I've been working very close with the city on the redo, and the first I heard about it was in the bill, so that was kind of, to start off with, a little frustrating that I'm in meetings with them and didn't hear about it, and it's in a bill that isn't even due. So this meeting is before the city bill is, but I understand we're open and we're public, but to start with, that's the same park that the Skyhawk well is in. So it's the Meadows Park, it's the same park where the well is. Basically, it's been heavily maintained by citizens. We've planted daffodils, we've planted other things. And as far as the cemetery goes, it is a wildflower park, it is not watered. If you were to plant a grave, it would take approximately 4 years for the ground to settle, and then it could take up 15 to 20 years before that soil regains. Again, as you can see, where it is today is 10 years later. Every single grave you put in will take the same amount of time. So you would be changing the dynamics of what that was dedicated for. It was dedicated for open space and saving in our water. And in 2022, we actually signed a water usage plan that said that we will be reducing our water by 10%. This would increase the water because if you were to do a grave or cemetery, you would have to increase the water because you would have to water that area. You would have to bring in machinery. Every single one you put down in the ground would take 15 years to come back to where it is and what you see today. Now, again, it's a very slow progress. So what you're seeing is already 10 years. What my goal is with the Wildflower Park and what I've been doing is building the soil as slow as possible so that it's beautiful in something I will never see. So I hold dearly, and it hurts that we're taking that away because I put a lot of effort into something that I don't think I will ever see, because it's going to be what's beautiful when our kids have kids. Right now, we're not seeing where I see that it'll go, but I do see, and the fact that everybody's here shows that I do see that we care, and we want it to look like this. We don't want it to be a tax thing for putting in water, putting in sprinklers. We already have an agreement with the state of Utah that if we're at stage 2 water, we cannot water city properties. So basically this year, I'm guessing we're stage 1, where it's the warning. Stage 2 is the city won't water properties. So if it gets converted, it won't. And I probably over my 2 minutes, you just cut me off at 2 minutes. I talk forever, sorry. So I care about our water, I care about our water quality, and I also care that we use as little as possible. We've already set up this park in a spot to not use water. It's already beautiful, it's already loved, and it's taken care of by the citizens. The reason why it keeps getting brought up as a place to go is how much time does the city use to maintain it? You cut it twice a year. The rest is done by citizens that live in the area, which is what I wanted. I wanted the people that care about it to be the ones that maintain it, not our taxes to pay for it. Taxes didn't pay for the 15,000 daffodils in there. The taxes didn't pay for the wildflowers that are in there. The people that are there pay for them. The people that are actually, most of Upper Elk Ridge came and helped plant the daffodils. And I'll organize a group in Upper Elk Ridge. Thank you. You guys are the ones that show up most often in the fall, in the rain, planting daffodils. But it's the citizens that have taken heart on this, and it would hurt to see it change to a different type of landscape, which is what the cemetery would create. Because you can't put a grave and have soil maintain a wildflower park until 15 years after. So I don't think that this is the right place for a cemetery. I'm not going to argue whether it is, if the city is the right place, the city is not, but right on our water well in a open space that's designated dry state, isn't using our water, it's being maintained by itself with the citizens and not our taxes. Our taxes would drastically increase. I know we don't think it will, but it will. It will drastically increase. There are better places. Now, my thought process of the best place to use would be along Elk Ridge Drive. You've got that whole water strip right there. Technically, it's against guidelines of being able to water it. So if you put it along there, it'd be the same type of thing. We don't have parking. We don't have anything else, and our park's not being watered. But that whole Elk Ridge Drive, we're watering nothing but grass. It's already being watered. So if I were to put it in a different place, it would be there, or it would be in a park that's currently getting watered, not adding water. Not one that's spent 10 years building a soil. So I'll keep
Can
going.
you explain one thing? When you talked about 15 years before you get natural,
So the microbes in the soil, in order to sustain flowers without any water, you have to have certain microbes for it to hold the water. So, I've been adding like humus or humic acid, because you can't add nitrogen or you can't add anything like that because it would make things grow too fast, which would require more water. So rebuilding soil to a point that it's not filled with cheatgrass, or it's filled with sustainable flowers, or sustainable, right now it's like mostly grass, but so it can actually look beautiful with no water. Like if you notice on a new build, it gets filled with tumbleweed, the sunflowers, and cheatgrass. That's what new soil would look like.
Immediately by being adjacent to a cemetery. We have a residential street, not a thoroughfare. If we look on the city planning, Skyhawk Drive is not a thoroughfare. It's residential, allowed parking on both sides with 15 feet of travel in between. We cannot have commercial traffic on there. Think of a Labor Day, Christmas, any other holiday that we celebrate our loved ones, where we put flowers on their graves. The traffic would be terrible on Skyhawk. Your city council, should you go ahead with this proposal, is binding the hands of future city councils for maintenance of the property. You will gain revenue by selling the plots, admittedly. At some point, you'll be a big out, so to speak, or there will be no more plots to be sold. Therefore, your revenue streams dries up, but your maintenance continues. I would hope that the maintenance would be greater than what is currently available on Skyhawk Park. We're having a water issue over there across the street. There's no water. I know that the landscaping crew for the city is stretched very thinly, but nonetheless, if you add more to that burden, even if you're able to hire more personnel based on the revenue that you would gain by selling the plots, it would soon run out, and then it's a tax burden on the rest of the residents. I'm strongly, strongly opposed to that location. I don't have a proposal for you. That's what you folks are elected to do, is to find it. But that is not the right place to do it. Thank you.
Dave or Penny Olson?
Yes, I live back to back with the plot that you're discussing. As we looked at it and talked about it, one of the issues is parking. If you have a cemetery, people are going to come and want to park. There would be no room for parking. And the impact on the streets, Bear Hollow does not accommodate much traffic. We have a hard time if people are parked on either side and one car is going each direction. You pause, get out of the way, let them come through. So traffic would be a huge issue, parking, and we love the open space to see the kids with their bikes and their scooters and strolling along the park, and that would be gone if this was a cemetery.
To complete that statement, this particular plot of ground is part of a three-part walking area. At the bottom of the diagram, going north, you can see that you just walked out, the circle that is a park with a kids' playground. You have to move it up again.
Oh,
Okay, so going south.
Sorry, I went the other direction for you, sorry.
Right. And all day long, we have people going through the park to the south, to the walkway to the north. It's an essential link. A cemetery may accommodate that, but eventually a cemetery will find a need to close it off, just simply because vandalism is always a problem with the cemetery district. And so you have a very nice walkway now that goes all the way down to, oh my goodness, I don't know the name. No, from Skyhawk goes all the way to the canal. And you connect over
It
to
actually crosses that street.
Rocky Mountain Drive as it connects down in. So there's a long walkway there, and you're cutting out a link to it.
All right, Russ.
Yep, thanks.
Greg Shelton.
I just want to start with thanking you guys for letting us speak about this in the very early stages of this process. Hope everybody understands how early in stages this is. I have a pretty big perspective of this area. I was actually working for the developer of this land at the time. That's why I decided to buy Lot 3. I fell in love with the area. I sent you guys all a pretty lengthy email. Hopefully everybody got it. If you have any questions, links, feel free to reach out, but talk about it. I kind of want to just second what Michelle said. Over the years, since 2015, we've been meeting with city council, different mayors, different councilmen, with ideas for this park. Everything's been kind of stone blocked, I feel like. At some point, we finally all gave up, and under Michelle's direction, we have started to maintain it ourselves. She did lots of work to it. She's put in hundreds of hours doing it. So is, you know, a lot of other residents too. I feel that by turning it into something else and would just be kind of a slap in the face for something that the citizens have done for that whole area. As far as needing a cemetery, I've been to many planning commission meetings where people have brought that idea to us. There's no doubt that's what's caused this to come to fruition. I think we are listening to residents. As far as an area, we're looking to annex the Orchard area, right? Future annex. I think it'd be great to put it on the general plan. If we do annex it, we'd like a cemetery in that area, somewhere. And then when residents do, if it ever does get annexed, residents do know, or future home buyers would know what would be in that area. It'd be a good way to not blindside people with a cemetery when they've already built their house there.
Lisa Barker.
Stand over here. Yeah, I agree with what everybody said so far. Michelle, I need to get on your little group committee. I will do that. My house backs up here too. I live on Horizon View Loop. I have 7 pages of signatures from a petition back in 2019 when a proposed parking lot they were talking about putting a parking lot in there. And the collective opinions, I just had to write this down, were opposed to development in this space. The particular issue was the parking lot. We don't want roads, we don't want parking lots, we don't want cars in this space. When the developer sold these lots and homes to many of us, and along with subsequent realtors in the years since, prospective owners were told this was a designated natural space and no development would ever take place. So we purchased our homes with those certain expectations about the surrounding land use. A cemetery is not consistent with the intended character of our neighborhood. Open space is a prized commodity. Once it's developed, we'll never get it back. This is not to say we're opposed to improving the aesthetics of the Meadow Park, and a lot of improvements have been done with the wildflowers and other things. But trees, landscaping, and other natural beautifications would be a welcome sight. But we were told by, I know one mayor in particular in 2019, that there was not enough water for such landscaping in this meadow. Mayor Ty Ellis stated in May 14th, 2019 City Council that our water is our #1 precious resource and responsibility. So it confused me. In 2026, we now have the water to facilitate a whole cemetery. The same year that the governor just issued, a state of emergency for drought conditions. So my #1 thing is my house backs up to this meadow. I look at that path going up and down all day long. It is a high use path. runners, walkers, families, kids, bikes, scooters, dogs, lots of dogs. A lot of them are off leash, and that's okay, but there's a lot of dog waste in that park as well. So that's something to take into consideration. The cemetery wouldn't work there, it just wouldn't. So my thing is, the number one issue is that thoroughfare that gets used all the time, constantly, consistently. We love this park, we love that trail. And if that trail were to go away because of a cemetery, that is, don't build it, just because of that alone, just because of the trail. And then, yeah, the water is my biggest thing. And then I just wanted to point out that in a lot of the surveys, the open space and the trails is our number one priority of why we live here, why the citizens moved here. We want our views, we want our open space, and to keep it that way. Just take care of what we have. Thanks.
Good evening, Council. My name is Mazzy Barker. I'm Lisa Barker's daughter. Me and my family moved here in, I want to say, 2017, and we've resided here ever since. We've heard here from numerous people today that are explaining why the proposed cemetery is just simply not a good fit for this community. The location, the density that it would bring to this neighborhood, the water issues, the cost to maintain it, including the contradictions of leaders in our city and state concerning water shortages, diminishing the quality of life, particularly in the first phases of building, with lights, noise pollution, and dust, etc. Like my mom mentioned, the cemetery would be in our backyard of that meadow. We look out there every single day. I stand with all these grounds that I just listed, but one of the main reasons why I felt compelled to speak tonight is regarding the trail and the thoroughfare that my mom mentioned. Through the Elk Ridge Meadows runs a walking trail connecting the Elk Ridge Meadows Park across the street and over to 11200 across the road and to Mount Loafer Park in the northern area. Every single day I see neighbors, families, kids, dogs walking along this trail, utilizing this trail for exercise and enjoying the gorgeous mountains all around us. This proposed cemetery is an inherent obstruction to the trail. Elk Ridge promotes our open spaces free for everyone to use, and this is precisely the reason why my family moved here in the first place. The council must take the citizens' opinion into consideration, and from what I'm gathering, we do not approve. Thank you.
Corey or Lindsay Knudsen?
So I'm totally gonna be a broken record with everyone else, but our house borders that field too, and we moved here about 8-ish years ago, and we lived close to Riverside, California, kind of a pretty sketchy area. So when we bought this house, one of our big factors of buying was the field. We were told it would never be developed, it would be open, and for once I felt like my kids could just play outside and not run into too many creepy people. It was a lot safer than where we were living next to Riverside. So that trail, it goes from park to park. I don't know if any of you guys live in Lower Elk Ridge, but it's a happening field. There's frisbee golf, there's constantly people coming through that field. And that was our huge selling point of moving here. And I feel like we're losing open space. Like up in that corner, we have the storage units that got put in. And now we're gonna be sandwiched between a storage unit and a cemetery, and it's what will happen to our home value. And I just feel like everything is getting just filled in wherever we can. And I know that a lot of people think that this field is just a blight to Elk Ridge, but we all love it who live around it. Like the wildflowers are getting beautiful. Like his cousin has lived out of town and they've traveled to Elk Ridge to use the frisbee golf course. Like there's a lot going on in that field and we all love it. And I really wouldn't want a cemetery there. So I'm opposed to it. Thank you.
Well, obviously that wasn't the whole meeting. There were quite a few people who spoke, but the majority spoke about the concerns for water usage, because you have to plant grass, or you may not have to plant grass, but grass may be in the cemetery. And let's see, back there is where water gathers. So graveyard, you're a water, it's not really, I don't know if it's a water source. I don't know if it's a well, but anyway, water gathers down there. And Michelle Birch can tell you more about it. And the other concerns were just parking, the amount of traffic, and also that this area was given to the city so that it would just be a public area. And but also that those who have lived here most of their lives for a very long time and who would like to be buried here as well because it's so beautiful and they love it, would also love to see a cemetery. So the city council has decided to do more research, see how much land they need and where they could put it that would make the most sense. And so there we are. This is Jenny and Tajamulia for Elk Ridge City News. Just trying to help my neighbors know what's going on as best I can. Also, if you want to know the agenda for city council meetings, you have to sign up for email on their website. And it's every second and fourth Tuesday, I believe, of the month. So, yeah. All right. See ya.